Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and just the other day Blizzard released yet another major update regarding the best and the biggest feature of the expansion of Midnight, the follow-up expansion to the World Soul Saga after the War Within has concluded, and that is yet another housing update, specifically targeting decorations when it comes to housing system. And it seems like they're treating decorations very similar to transmogs, mounts, pets, any other types of collectibles you may be able to earn in game, and they're looking to find new ways for players to be able to add decorations to their home. And they're actually looking at a pretty in-depth system which focuses on rewarding a variety of players, specifically veteran players in general. If you've been playing the game for a while and have had maybe some of those old school achievements from back in the day, then those players are going to be able to get specifically unique items to place into their homes. Players that participate in in-game activities, whether it's delves, dungeons, raids, or maybe even any of the holidays, will be able to get plenty of other rewards as well. And professional players in particular will have a very lucrative opportunity to go back to older expansions to unlock some unique recipes if you invest enough time and enough points and enough attention scaling up all of those professions within the older expansions specifically. So for today's video, I really want to go over this brand new housing update for the expansion of Midnight and everything we know about it so far. As always, if you guys want to see more regular updates for War Within or Midnight expansion, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. When talking about the housing system, I decided to go one of the homes in Belemeth, which is one of the most requested scenes, or I guess requested buildings that players really wanted to see out of the housing projects. I know that we're getting like an Alliance home and a Horde home at the very beginning with their own neighborhoods, but many players have been really waiting for like a night elfish type of abode, whether you want to have it look like some kind of like a druidic hut or maybe like a hunter's lodge or something like that. There's so many cool little doodads and decorations that they add in these, and it definitely has one of the best aesthetics out there. I mean, just look at this massive tree inside of a house. Who wouldn't want to live in a place like this? And I'm sure that they'll come around and add more homes and more varieties of homes, because this is going to be one of those features that is developed for the community with the community specifications in mind. And that is the first thing that we can go over as part of this brand new housing blue post. Is housing is going to be a feature that's a work in progress. It's something they're internally working on right now, not something we can preview just yet, but hopefully sometime soon. But it is something that is going to be iterative. But this blue post specifically covers some of the different decorations that you'll be able to add into your home. So decorations are going to be a huge part of this feature, and what they want to make the decorations aspect part of the home is make it a progressive journey, very similar to when you're farming transmogs or farming mounts or a variety of any other collectibles in the game. It is something that you will notice as a collection that builds up over time, and you'll get a couple of pieces here and there from raids, dungeons, maybe some of the holiday events, reputations, and they kind of want to sprinkle in decorations in the very similar vein that you can get all of those other collectibles, and find a way to incorporate decorations in older expansions content, but also in newer expansion content. So there's a reason for you to go back to places like Molten Core, the reason for you to go back into expansions like TBC, Mists of Pandaria, Wrath of Lich King, to get some of those items that you can add as decoration as part of your home. They also want to make sure the decorations is a reward that you will be able to obtain from all types of content, whether you're talking about like reaching certain renown ranks and reputations with factions, or doing endgame activities like Mythic Plus, raiding, delving, open world content, or PvP. But they also want to find a way to reward veteran players that have had years and years into this game, to find a way to tie some of those decorative rewards to potentially achievements from older expansions. And they break down those decorations in a variety of different ways. Majority of them they will actually consider to be commodities. And when you look at like basically a variety of different consumables from raids, they actually mark those things as commodities as well. These are the things that are utilized by most players, and they make them fairly easily accessible to some of the basic features in the game. So commodities are going to be things that will be available from vendors or auction house or from basic quests and so forth, from some of those regular activities. So things like a wooden table shouldn't be someone that you need to defeat like the hardest boss mythic in the next raid tier. It should be someone that's easily available. Maybe some of the benches that you have around this house, those should be also easily obtainable. There's going to be a variety of different basic things that players will want, like wooden tables, wooden desks, wooden chairs, wooden wardrobes. Those should be very easy to get. Then there's going to be what they call investment decor, which are going to be some of the more niche items with specific themes, looks, or appeals, and it will take a little bit of time to obtain. And one of the examples that they have here is actually Cedar Triumvirate, which is interesting how they are adding that on a list. Almost makes you think like Cedar Triumvirate might be a dungeon as part of Season 3 content, or maybe they just randomly decide to pick that one specifically. It could be anything, honestly, but they have a specific Argosian crate in that screenshot, which is an item that you will be able to obtain as a decoration from the dungeon specifically. So very, very similar to how you can get some pets, mounts, and things like that from boss drops. They're trying to find a way to incorporate some of those cosmetic drops from dungeons as well. And then lastly, they'll have certain decorations that are called trophies. These are the things that will come from some of the more skilled play within endgame content. High-end Mythic Plus rating, maybe reaching title, or Mythic boss skills like Gallowix or any other boss in the future. Very, very similar to like Delves defeating the final boss of, what is it, Underpin on question mark difficulty, things like that. The difficult content. They also want to make sure to give trophies for those activities as well. Another thing that we also want to focus on is adding meta achievement rewards and improving on meta achievement rewards for any players that have spent a long time within Azeroth. And they want to make sure that that time is made important. And they think that doing that through decorations might be a really good idea. So let's say you get the achievement of more dots from back in the day. You won't have to go back and re-kill Onyxia to get that achievement all over again to get your item. It'll just be added as part of the achievement because you already did it a while ago. And they're also thinking of doing the same thing for some of those meta achievements as well, like Back from the Beyond, A Farewell to Arms, A World Awoken, which are basically like Shadowlands Completionist achievement, BFA Completionist, and Dragonflight Completionist. All of those things will also, they already award you a mount, which is really cool, and all these mounts are unique, but they're also going back and are going to be adding more decorations for those achievements as well. So something that takes a very long time to complete. There's going to be additional rewards for players that have already done so. Also, they're doing some really cool stuff when it comes to professions. Like, if let's say you want to be a blacksmith, you'll be able to make a bunch of metal-based decorations around the home. So think things like metal boxes, metal chairs, metal tables, maybe even metal doors for all we know. Maybe metal frames to put pictures into, who knows, honestly. Then we have jewel crafters who will also be stonemasons for decoration purposes. So I imagine if you want to carve out a stone statue, jewel crafters will be the profession to go with. And every single one of them is going to be able to make some form of decoration to place into a house. But they're also thinking of taking it a step further, because professions have evolved and existed in WoW for a very long time, and they've changed depending on the expansion you go into. And right now, every profession track has its own like variation of it, depending on the expansion. So like right now, we are playing in War Within. So you're going and let's say you're upgrading Enchanting or Inscription. You're going and upgrading Inscription within War Within, learning War Within recipes, and its own like upgrade track and skill track that you gotta fill. But let's say you go and learn Miss Pandaria Inscriptionist. It's its own variation of that same profession. You'll have unique reagents that you'll be utilizing, unique items that you can unlock, and you got to progress through that track separately from the current expansion one. So they're thinking of allowing players to go back to older expansions to progress those and reward them with unique recipes from those expansions. So let's say if you want to have a Miss Pandaria Jade Temple style scroll as an Inscriptionist, you'll need to go back and learn the Pandaria version of Inscription in order to be able to get the recipe for that item. And best part, any of you that are big on making gold, profession makers will be able to list those items on the auction house as well. So this could be a very lucrative opportunity for many of you out there looking to make a little bit of quick buck with this whole new system, and getting those professions ahead of time for older expansions will at least put you ahead of everybody else, ready to start picking up those recipes as soon as they become available whenever the housing update finally gets here. But at the same time, Blizzard is Blizzard, and they are thinking about making some limitations with this whole decoration system. One of the limitations they were planning on doing, potentially, is, and this is still a work in progress, but they were thinking of, let's say if you want to place 4 tables in a house, you'll need to make sure you have 4 tables in your inventory before you do so. I guess this way, like the amount of resources you have to spend to invest into those decorations to be able to place them all over your home, it is going to be a little bit more meaningful than, let's say, if you were to unlock how to place a table in your home and then just copy paste that table without any limitations whatsoever. Definitely an interesting change that, one, creates a little bit more value for every item that you purchase for your house, but it does kind of hit against the creativity that is possible. Also, they're thinking of making certain items unique, as in you can only have one of them per house. Like if let's say you own a Stormwind house and a Orgrimmar house, and you have the head of Onyxia, and let's say you were to, or any other unique type of decoration, you'll be able to place that unique decoration in each house, but you can't have like 6 heads of Onyxia in one home. So let's say you were role-playing as a Dragon Maw orc, and your whole like style is just slaying dragons, and you were hoping to just have a bunch of dragon heads all over the house, and you were going to change the scale, the colors for them, so it looks like a different dragon that you're slaying throughout your journey playing this game. You wouldn't be able to do so. You'll have one unique decoration of Onyxia's head, but you wouldn't be able to plaster a bunch of them. Again, it does make that head slot or head decoration more unique, because now you only have one of them, and you got to find a great spot to place in your home. But now it also kind of goes against the creativity of just being able to decorate a house with as many copies of a single item. And I don't really know how I feel about it. I think it's really going to come down to the community's take on this type of a change. But again, decorations are an iterative system at the end of the day. So it really comes down to what the community prefers when it comes to the system. And hopefully Blizzard will be very, very keen to keep listening to the community. They've been generally pretty good with it recently, but we'll see exactly what they do with the decorations going forward. But with that being said, for now, that is going to be everything we know so far regarding the decorations and the rewards of the housing system that hopefully we'll be getting a better glimpse of and better idea of what it looks like, how it plays in, overall how it functions, and get even more of a preview than what we've had from Blizz so far. But with that, as always, I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching, and hope you guys did enjoy this update. If you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like. I would very much appreciated. Also, join our Discord community to keep up with all the regular patch 11.15 updates and even any kind of class changes and patch notes. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.